What's up, everybody? It's your boy DJ Code Red, and I'm coming at you with another video. This one is going to be on sound design and composing. See, here's what happened. I was rolling around through Discord, and it was like a share your work feed, and I saw some gameplay footage. Shout out to Sylvan at Void Decent Games. He let me use this gameplay footage, and I was like, okay, let me sound design on it. But what ends up happening is I see the footage and I get inspired by it. So I said, you know what? Let me go in here. Let me tweak some things. Let me just look at what it is that I can do and get my portfolio together. So that's what I did. So in this video, you'll see that I created pretty much every sound in here, and I'm gonna take you up under the hood afterwards after we look at the footage. But it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty interesting, and I'm excited, and I'm happy that that Sylvan let me do this. So check out the game footage, and then we'll go up underneath the hood afterwards. All right. All right, so you've checked out the gameplay footage. Now I'm going to take you up underneath the hood so you can actually see what it is that we put together, that I put together. See, what happened is if this was like a real game, if I was already implementing these into a real game, I wouldn't have done all of this work. But because it's not a real game, I just said, you know what, let me just keep my skills sharp and do the work that needs to be done. So if you look here, we could start to look at some of this gameplay footage. These are the footsteps. I had to chop these things up and pitch them a certain way so they can sound different. So that's why it looks like this. But this is what it sounds like. Let me let y'all listen to that. And I tried to do my best to look at how the footsteps were going. You can see a body drop here, right there. And, you know, like I said, if this was a real video game, I really wouldn't have done those type of edits. I would have just put it into the animation, and then it'll be, you know, good to go. Something else that I put together was the weaponry. And this one was a little challenging for me because there were things that I was trying to configure as far as like what the pullback of the arrow sounds, the bow and arrow sounds like, what the release sounds like. So I came up with these things, although I probably could make it a little better, but I came up with these things. So this right here, let me make sure I mute that. So if you listen to this right here, this is the pullback of the arrow. So you can see as the person is getting ready to release, there was a pullback sound effect that I put in there. So that's the best that I could do. And it was just it was just something that I thought was like, okay, this could work. Really, it wasn't really nothing else outside of that. Then I needed a release sound. Right, I just threw a whoosh in there, and I just say, okay, let me figure out how to release this the right way, and that's how I came up with this. As you can see, you know, when I release it, when you see those things together, so it gives that realistic feeling, like, okay, we have released that weapon, and then it helps out with letting the character know, or letting the player know that they have released the arrow. And then when I looked at the arrow, it had a power up on it. So I wanted it to be, I wanted the arrow to have an impact on the player, on the enemy characters, instead of it being like if you look at like weapons and you say like a gun, for instance, when you hit the trigger or you release the projectile, then the explosion comes from when you release when you shoot the weapon. But here, because it's an arrow, you don't get that same effect. So I wanted the explosion, because it had a power up on it, I wanted the explosion to actually hit on the character. So that's exactly what I did. I made an explosion once it hit the character. So you can see here, right? So if you put all three of those together, that's what I had to do. I had to really figure out how I wanted that thing to sound. And it could, it could be better, right? But whatever. Then there was a dash sound in here as well when the player is evading weapons or evading shots. I had to create some type of dashing sound that wouldn't be so loud, but it would, that the person or the character is dashing. The really interesting thing here, though, is that when the character is on the ground, there's a skidding point. So I wanted to have that also in there. But when the character is in the air, there is no skid. So I was trying to figure out, do I want to add a skid? Do I not want to add a skid? But if I'm trying to implement this into a game, those are things that I would consider. Do I want a skid? Do I not want a skid? And how difficult is it to actually put that in there? Because when you see them jump, there is no skid. So for example, let me show you how that works. You can see the person skids there, but when they in the air, there is no skid, right? So I just added that as extra background noise when the person is skidding on the ground, and that's just a matter of just taste, right? Just me being very detailed about what it is that I was doing. But this was really interesting here. And also I concluded that with some music. And a lot of what I actually was thinking about was when the character enters into the arena, then it's straight action. And a lot of it for me was like, all right, if it's action, it's going to be drums, it's going to be pulsing, it's going to be fired, it's going to be explosions everywhere, and it's going to be chaotic. So that's what I was thinking of the whole time. So, essentially I could have just got away with like the drums and a pulse, and I'll let you just listen to those things real quick. This is the drums right here. So as soon as she walk in, it's fight time, But I wanted a little more, so I added the pulse in there as well. And that was just, that's just to create chaos. But outside of that, once the music, once the action dies down, then somebody's texting me. Once the action dies down, then the drums shouldn't be in there and the pulsing shouldn't be in there. So this is up underneath it. Like I did some drone stuff and some wind stuff and some ambient stuff just to make it feel like a real thing. So that's what would happen. This is the music that happens after everything has died down. But while she's in the thick of it, as you can see, the drums died down because the action is down, right? So, I had a lot of fun. Shout outs to Sylvan again for letting me do this. It's your boy DJ Code Red. If you have questions and you want to get in contact with me or whatever, just, look at the description below. All right. It's your boy DJ Code Red. Thank you again for listening. I'm out of here.